All right, so PCS Hosted, many of you might already know that it's an existing product offering that we do here at American Innovations. If not, this is just a quick overview of some of the things that it offers, and some of the benefits that it really provides people. And so PCS Hosted is something that we provide so that you don't have to have your own dedicated IT infrastructure, internal servers, and then all of the IT overhead that comes along with that. We will manage it for you. Our environment is, it's within Microsoft Azure, and it is SOC 2 accredited. That means it is to the security standards that really financial systems and stuff like that need to abide by. And so come to peace with the fact that your data is secure within our environments. Some of the other benefits that it provides, though, is you automatically get updates with each PCS release. Every time we do a PCS release, we will notify all of the PCS hosted customers in advance that a release is coming down the pipeline. There's an option to add a test instance as well for yourselves, so that if you want to test that release with some of the internal integrations that you have within your company, you have the ability to do that beforehand, and then we will let you know when we go ahead and do that deployment. But you get it automatically. You don't have to see that we did a PCS release that has some great enhancements that you're interested in as a PCS user, but then you have to go back and convince your IT team to do the upgrade in your environment for you. You automatically get all of the benefits of the things that our developers are putting their time and effort into making PCS a better user experience for you guys. The other great thing about it is it's really, you log into it from an internet browser, so you can access it securely from any PC at any time, rather than having to have it, PCS downloaded onto your work laptop. You leave that laptop at the office, but you need to check on something. You can do that from your house by accessing it from a computer logged into an internet browser, which is beautiful. And then there's also the option for the enterprise package offering to have a dedicated SQL Server instance. What that does is provides you with a lot more flexibility in terms of integrating with third-party applications. So some of the benefits there, I talked about a lot of this on the previous slide, but studies have shown through us talking with customers and building case studies around it, of internal IT cost reduction of over 60%, which is always great. And then again, reducing the delays with getting upgraded features. You don't have to do manual upgrades, individually going to every single person within the company and updating PCS on their laptop. That's not a thing with PCS Hosted. Everybody just automatically gets the new version once we deploy it. And then quicker response time on issues. When customers have an issue within their PCS on-premise environment, sometimes that can take a while for our support team to actually get you the solutions that you need, because we have to recreate that. We have to ask you for your database, and then we recreate the environment essentially so that we can do our triage and troubleshooting. But when it's in our own environments, that time to actually get you guys answers decreases significantly. And then slide is not progressing.
I think just summary there, Becky, like a lot of times when we're debugging PCS issues, it turns out to be an interaction between PCS and the customer's IT infrastructure or changes that were made there. And so we obviously do our best to solve that, but in this case, there's only one throat to choke, I guess, so to speak, because we're standing that up for you. I think it's one of the biggest benefits that people have said.
Well stated. This chart here, I'm not going to talk through all of this because as Ed stated earlier, there is a lot of content to get through today. But these are really the differences between on-premise installations of PCS and then when you bring it into the hosted environment. Obviously, one of the big gaps that people are aware of that is noted here is the export to table bridge, that has a couple asterisks under hosted because it is an option if you have that dedicated SQL Server environment for yourselves. You do have that export to table bridge. We are also in our product roadmap for PCS hosted, we are solving that problem as well by putting a API gateway on top of PCS hosted. So it will enable people to do integrations within PCS hosted environment, whether or not you have a dedicated SQL Server instance. And really that API gateway will enable people to do those integrations in a way that is up to date with current technology. It's way easier to manage in terms of actually executing the integrations to get that real-time data feed. And so that's something we're excited about coming down the pipeline in the future for PCS hosted. But a lot of the things that are provided are automatic updates with every PCS release. You can access it from any computer at any time, no matter where you're at, as long as you have internet connection. Another great thing, so we migrated, we used to use Citrix as our PCS hosted platform, and we migrated it to a new platform. It's called Parallels. It's pretty slick in terms of how it works, but it also unlocked the ability for us to do single sign-on for people. And so it's something that we would work with your company IT team to get set up when we did the onboarding process, but enables us to work with your Active Directory system that you use internally so that they use the same login that they use for their computer to get into PCS. One of the minor differences between the way that PCS hosted works with in comparison to the on-premise version is the data transfer. And so there's this misconception out there that, well, I've heard that PCS hosted, you can't pull data in from field devices. And so that's not necessarily true. It's just a slightly different workflow. There's basically a downloads folder on the device. And then within the hosted environment, there's a cloud download folder that PCS hosted has direct access to. And so instead of putting it on a C drive folder on your computer, it's just a different folder that you add those files to, and then PCS has access to it. Of course, if you leverage wireless sync capabilities to get your survey data in, that works as well. This is something that I wanted to highlight specifically because especially if it's a smaller organization, the administrative burden that comes with having a product like PCS with all of the different database management and the customizations that are available with the product. AI offers this PCS admin service. So these are all of the things that we will manage for you, including user management, security roles set up, all of your user-defined fields and everything like that. Lots of flexibility in terms of how you leverage this service, but it's available 7 to 7 Monday through Friday with 8 hours of admin service per month included. I think you can add them on ad hoc if you need extra hours, but then product training and data cleanup and all of those extra services aren't included in this package. They're extra. And then one final thing that I wanted to highlight on PCS hosted before I throw the ball over to Andrew to talk through DCVG is this is something that we are able to build for you as well through our data services team. If you leverage PCS hosted and you have that dedicated server environment, we can build Power BI reports that give you real-time actionable insights into where your survey statuses lie. These are very customizable in terms of what you see here. And so it's something that our data services team would work with you guys on in terms of understanding what you want to see, what you want to get more detail into, and make sure that we build something that is powerful for you guys. And then I lied. there's the how to get started before I hand it over to Andrew. Sorry. Onboarding, we'll just have a quick conversation with you to talk through what are we building? Do you want that dedicated server environment? Do you just want the standard offerings? What kind of users do you want? Do you want them to have a single sign-on? We'll just go through this like checklist of questions to understand what your needs are, and then we'll establish the project timeline. Go through what it will take to get you trained up, all of that. We'll create your environment. That typically takes our IT team a couple weeks to get everything set up. And then we'll do the SSO setup and all of that and confirm that you have the access that you need, and get you up and running. And then after you're onboarded, we will do follow-ups to make sure that everything is good to go and that you're getting the benefits that you wanted to get from the product. And so we'll do that 1 week after, make sure you're not having any technical issues with accessing the system, stuff like that. Follow up again in 30 days, and then again at 45 days, 2 months, and then we'll do annual reviews with all of our hosted customers to discuss how things are going. Are there features in the product that we added and maybe a release that you're not getting the benefit from, and just talk through that with you to understand and make sure that you're getting the maximum benefit that you can get from the product. And then, of course, it also includes monthly maintenance as well. We do maintenance on it. I think it's like the 3rd Saturday of the month. And that's it for PCS Hosted. Do we want to entertain questions now, or do we want to just jump into DCVG and do questions at the end, or?
I think we better just, does anyone have a burning question? How about that? Please put a burning question in the chat. How about that? We'll make it real easy. And then Andrew, kick us off.
All right. So as Ed and I mentioned earlier, we have the introduction of the DCVG survey module imminent at this PCS Field Data Collector. Right now, we're tracking to a release of that at the end of this month, and I'm excited to get that in your hands for use in your in your survey season starting this spring. All right, I do have control. So before I maybe go into a little bit of the detail about this module, just wanted to take a step back and say, what's it for? Why are we introducing this module into our app? And it really goes back to to the standards, to the NACE or AMP standards associated with external corrosion direct assessment, or ECDA plans. And within this standard, SP 0502 2010, its most recent version, there's a number of indirect inspection types that are defined there that can be used, basically your tool set to use to implement your ECDA plans. And at this point, we have within the PCS Field Data Collector app, we have close interval survey, and now we're going to be introducing direct current voltage gradient survey, so DCVG. And it's our commitment to basically provide the full tool set to you for your surveys, so that when you go out to the field, and depending on the conditions that you're encountering, you can choose from whatever indirect inspection type is necessary for the given situation. And by the introduction of DCVG surveys within our app, we're trying to hold true to that commitment to you, to providing you all of those tools. And so DCVG is a
Hey Andrew,
yes.
There's also a mega rule component too as well.
Yes. So the mega rule is also driving the need for these tools as well. And so by introducing these, we're helping you to stay current on the needs that you have for your for maintaining compliance with the mega rule as well. Thanks for mentioning that, Ed. So DCVG is at its core, it's a method for measuring the voltage gradient along and around a pipeline on the surface to not only locate but to size holidays or anomalies in the pipeline, holes in the pipeline. It was developed in the 1980s by Mr. John Mulvaney and Dr. John Leeds. So it's had a pretty long run within the industry, and is accepted throughout the corrosion industry, and has the methodology defined by AMP in standards, not just the ECDA standard, but an actual, actual documents that lay out, this is how you conduct this survey. It's typically used with another survey type because the standard for ECDA plans calls for at least 2 survey types to be used on any given ECDA plan implementation, and that's really just a way of validating. If you see indications or anomalies in one survey type, check it against another survey type, and compare that data to really validate, yes, there's an issue here, and now we should go spend a lot of money to dig up the pipeline and correct it. This methodology can give an indication of a current direction in both the on and off. It is an interrupted survey to determine cathodic and anionic flow, so that you really know, yes, this is an issue on the pipeline that we need to address. From an equipment standpoint, it's really pretty simple with the gear that you need to take out into the field. And here I've got represented our Mesa 3 rugged tablet running the PCS Field Data Collector app. This is what you need from a device standpoint, from an app standpoint, to automate this survey. We've got our DVM 2130 voltmeter, which of course connects via Bluetooth to the Mesa, and then a couple of survey probes that connect to that DVM. And this is really the core of what you need to take out into the field. Of course, we also have our accessories to make things a little more comfortable for you, our shoulder hook and other accessories that would free up your hands to use those probes. And then from an actual, like, what's it like boots on the ground? You're walking along the pipeline, just like you would, with a CI survey, walking with the probes, and at a field level, what you see on the screen is going to be indications of measurement, and then the arrows, from a user interface standpoint, those arrows are pointing you towards, this is where the indication is. And so as you cross over that indication, you should see the arrow flip and identify, really, yes, this is where the indication is happening. And because we are synchronized with GPS, you can get your lat longs to really identify that and store that data off ultimately in PCS. And because this isn't just about what's happening in the field, you're collecting this data in the field, but when you get back to the office, you can transfer that data into Survey Manager and view it and overlay it with your other survey data, your CI survey data, or if you had resistivity data that you wanted to overlay and show, okay, at this indication, I see these results in all of these different survey types. That's the power of Survey Manager. And as Becky mentioned earlier, we also, the next major release of Survey Manager, we will have the ability to do wireless sync of this data. When this releases initially, that data will be transferable manually by transfer, manually copying over the files, but wireless sync is fast on its heels. So key things, we have version 1.15 is where we'll be introducing the DCVG survey module. And as I mentioned, it's coming, we're tracking right now to having that out on February 28th, so the end of this month, so that you can get it loaded on your devices and get it out into the field for your surveys. And it is available on the Google Play Store for your Mesa 3 rugged tablets. And if you are using an iPad, it is also available on the Apple App Store.